Well, hello everyone. I'm going to talk to you about the backlog and the roadmap. Sometimes your backlog can be quite a mess. But before that, I want to thank the organizers, the staff, the volunteers also, who made this event possible. I don't really like to talk about myself, so I'll make it quick. I'm the founder of French Salesforce Consulting, and my associate is Doria, she's there. And we started the first, I guess it's the first, blog about Salesforce in French. I have 18 years of experience on the first worldwide CRM, which at the time was not Salesforce. So I'm 0 times Salesforce MVP. I've spoken at 0 events so far. My first one was in Europe with Doria. And I have 9 certifications on Seabold CRM, which is totally useless by now. So, what is a messy backlog? I've searched for this. I tried to find a definition of a messy backlog. And I stumbled across this Reddit post which says, I've just inherited a very badly kept, disorganized backlog. Where would you start first? Go through, my advice, you should put it to trash. So if you can relate to this, then you, at some point in your life or in your previous missions, you had a problem. So some of you can relate to this. Messy backlog, we don't know. Yes, you do? Okay. So I tried to find the signs. I will talk about signs mostly because in medicine a symptom is a manifestation of a disease that the patient feels, but a sign is something clinical that you can observe. And we have different signs to identify a messy or a shitty backlog. So the first one, to me, it can be discussed and can be, so to me, the first one is the spring goal that is hard to explain, who has never been defined. So this is the first one. Either the backlog doesn't serve any clear objective, it's just random things put together, a backlog. Or the items were last updated in 2017. This happens also. You have tens of similar statuses with no specific meaning, in progress, started, working, everything that maybe the first owner of the backlog thought were useful, but then someone added other statuses and no one knows what it is. You have no release or sprint logic or no epics. You have everything mixed. So day-to-day troubleshooting, you have long-term projects. Inside the backlog, you have everything just mixed. It makes no sense to people outside of the team. So if you're not part of the team, if you don't have the language of the project, you understand shit. Maybe sometimes you have one backlog item. I'm talking about backlog item and not user stories. And this is on purpose. And you have one backlog item to rule them all. Meaning that instead of having clearly defined user stories, you have just one backlog item, let's say Salesforce TPQ, for example. And this is a backlog item that I found at some point. The items can also be way too technical, and this is not the purpose of a backlog. Can you hear me? Good? Okay. And of course, there are no priorities. So how, if you can identify some of those characteristics in a backlog, be scared. You don't have to run, but you have to find solutions to solve this. And by this, I mean this situation. So, How does Elon Musk do? This is a pretty interesting thing. He starts to be honest. We can discuss very long about Elon Musk, but let's say that this post was honest. Please know that Twitter will do a lot of dumb things in the coming months, and we will keep what works and change what doesn't. So this is honest. Then he gets priorities from a tweet, which can be really discussed, and also some people come to him via Twitter and raise some points that should maybe be kept in the backlog, and he doesn't answer. So this is not exactly what I would call backlog management. This is not what we're going to talk about. So are there actionable solutions? Yes, there are. First of all, if you're a product owner, you should act as a PO. So your job is not to make everyone happy. This is something that I think it needs to be said. And you need to involve the stakeholders and embrace their strategy for the company. So you don't just collect demands to fuel your pipeline. This is not what you have to do. You have, in the end, you will have no guidance and you will end up with a very unclear message. So don't do this. Just involve the stakeholders, embrace the strategy for the company, set up a metric-driven mindset of the business. You think about KPIs, about the business. This is a company, act as if it was your own company, and you will perform a bit better. And of course, try to bring value through this, and don't overcomplicate things. I will come later to this. Also, this is the product owner side. On the backlog, you should always derive your features from business goals and objectives only. You should not try to invent things, collect. You should get the strategy of the company and derive your work from this. And for each backlog item, you define business value, workload estimate, metrics, clear definition, and everything. You know how to write a user story, I guess, so I will not get into this. And also make it easy to understand, well organized. If that's possible, work in a collaborative tool like Jira or whatever, but try to have structure. And in the end, organize if you can, if you have a management role, organize around feature teams, put the project first and remove silos. So if you can, also help your team focus and avoid distractions. Distractions are the worst, because you will have new items entering your backlog, you will have new items taken by the team during a sprint, you will have all this kind of awful stuff. So this was theory, and now let's get into practice. Business goals, roadmap, how I handle it. Maybe it's not perfect, we can discuss this afterwards if you want. But this is how I handle it. So I was on a mission like this, and we're going to take the example of a brewery. And it was a few years back. We had a backlog with 400 items. Some of them were entire projects on their own, and could have been broken down into 10 to 50 US. So it was a complete mess. And the same scheme happens over and over. Some guy in a meeting, and not necessarily a decision maker, states something as super important, which is not. And then this gets fuel into the backlog and adds the mess. So you come some weeks, some months after that, and you wonder what to do. The chances are 99% of the items of the entire backlog have no link with the current strategy of the company. So this is why you need to go back to the strategy of the company. So you have two options. First option, you go and ask about the items, and you go grab information about each and every item of the current backlog. You lose your time. Or you can just read the content of this backlog, back of your head, and then you take some time to refer to it after, but you don't lose your time. Anyway, if you end up in this situation, the processes leading to this situation are broken, so otherwise the backlog wouldn't be a mess. And let's start with the brewery. So, what do you want to do? You want to get busy all day, going to meetings, steering committees and everything. Have a perfect RACI map for each aspect of the project that no one refers to afterwards when the RACI is, you know this. You have your certification, PMI, PMBOK, Prince2, Agile, shut the fuck up or read the fucking manual. Everything certified people. Or you have another plan to just have a simple plan and get shit done. Actually, most of the books that you can read in project management will tell you in depth how to organize your day, your week, and your just work. Have steering committees, days, project committees, everything, but they never tell you what you should do inside those meetings. So you get busy having meetings, but you don't know what to do in those meetings. So this is maybe the reason why so many meetings are pointless. And so keep time to work on your own and just get things done. This, the first approach of having meetings and everything, brainstorming, you name it, was okay before. When the years of consulting strategy bullshit were okay in 2000 or 2010 when I started my career. But then the board members, they want results now. They want results, they want money, they pay money and they want results for this. So, especially in these days, when we know that 2023 is going to be a bit tough, and we all heard about this through the news and everything, we need to change the mindset or to adopt a mindset that is pretty effective. So there was a time when we argued about which word should we use and so no, those times are over. So just get things done. You just identify the things that the company should do. Maybe let's say the objectives. What are the objectives of the company? Go back to this. What is the objective of this company? So maybe profit earning, customer acquisition. So maybe innovation, increasing productivity, employee engagement. Those words, they're not useful on a day-to-day basis when you do stuff. Time wasters. So just have a list of what the company wants to achieve, but don't spend too much time on this. Maybe it would be increase revenue by 4 times within 1 year. It can be lower the time to treat incoming demands by 30% by 2023. But just don't overcomplicate things. People spend too much time thinking, what is our DNA, what defines us, what is our North Star, we don't care. We want customers paying for the service, and we want, at the end of the day, pay the wages, make money, and get shit done. So, this is how I do it. Very simple. I try to outline some, let's say, we're a beer company. Huh? So we're just organizing the different projects from the top management. They want to integrate the leads from saberbière.com. They want to have, in Salesforce, they want to have a visit card scanner. They want to have online chat, messenger. I dump everything inside this. And I try to classify those with some groupings that you may know. But the most important thing is to map this with business goals. If you have statuses at the right and green is done, yellow is in progress, and red is not started, what's wrong with this? Can anyone tell me what is wrong with this situation. Yeah, no priorities. Yes, tell me.
In progress is too vague. We know
Okay.
it's 1% or 99%.
Perfect. So in progress to vague. There's something else. Maybe too many things in progress, actually. So you don't know what you're working on. You don't know how you're doing. So let's say that we ask, and this is a big effort for stakeholders. To assess the business values of something and to define priorities. Because if you define priorities, you're right, Quentin, there are no priorities. But what if I said, because we don't want too many priorities, we want low, medium, and high. What if I put high in, let's say, 10 of those items? What happens? You don't know which is more high priority than the other one, and you end up in the same situation. So you have this matrix, very simple again, and you have the business value and the effort and complexity. I don't know how to say it in English actually, but abscess, okay. Yeah, pretty clear. So you put this, and this is very easy to understand for management. Very easy to understand. You assess the effort and complexity. You know how to do it. I'm not going to tell you about that. And then, based on what the management said, you explain them that based on the business value and effort and complexity, the items on the top left are quick wins. This has the highest business impact and the lowest complexity. So these topics will be taken in priority in the next versions and will bring value. Those with low business value and high, well, relatively, low effort and complexity are nice to have because we can do them, it's fine, but it does not bring any clear value. The ones on the top right are strategic projects because they are complex to set up and they bring value, so this needs to be planned, this needs to be taken in the right way. And the bottom right are projects to abandon. Because we know everything, we know how user stories are supposed to be written, validated, developed, tested, everything. So I will not get into this. But we never take time to check what is actually relevant for the company in terms of priority. Maybe if you do this, and if you have your items on this, then the management will say, oh, no, so, okay, those items are very important, but this one needs to be, flipped. So the top priority is this. And then, when someone 2 weeks later says our top priority, John, is this. No, you told me 2 weeks ago that your top priority was that. So we started to work on this. And you have something to oppose to those ever-changing priorities, which is one of the biggest challenges that I face in my day-to-day job. Of course, you will serve the new needs, but you will plan them in advance. And then you also educate the management to work in the right way. Of course, if you just ask management to give priorities, everything is P1. If P1 is the biggest, they also invent P0, P minus 1, and then you go and go. So again, multiple statuses in your backlog. You don't know what is a P minus 2. At that time, it was a P minus 2, but now it seems there's a P minus 3. What should we do? And then this is very easy to understand. Also, based on the plan, the effort, complexity, and everything, I try to outline this very simple also. At each step, I try to identify incoherences. So something is not coherent, then I try to understand it. The problem here is that we also have too many things in progress. We have nothing planned ahead of 2 months. So with this very, very, very simple method, you just outline what is right and what is wrong pretty easily. This is very simple. Of course, everything of this depends on the size of the team of everything. But this should be applicable in any team, for any customer. So, what are the takeaways of this, if there are any? The first thing is dig into prioritization reasons. You should ask a stakeholder about the priority of something they brought up. Oh, of course, I thought about it. So it's P1, it's P minus 100. A priority, if taken alone, makes no sense. You should always have priorities of subjects in front of each other. And then you also should try to go to the 5 whys. So always ask why. You know the 5 whys? Yeah. You know the SMART and everything things. But the 5 whys, very important. Some things, someone comes to the office late. Let's say you come to the office late. You come to the office late. And then you tell me, I just got a fine. I went through a red light traffic. Okay, so why? Because I knew I was going to be late. Okay, why? Because I didn't hear my alarm clock. Okay, why? Because I didn't set it. Okay, why? So, and again and again. So you will always, maybe it will end up before the 5 whys. And people will have no answer. So you will have no answer is an answer. And also, just love what you do. Being passionate or sounding passionate, for French people, I'm addressing to French people here, sounding passionate will help you move things forward and move things a bit faster. Get some inspiration from salespeople. They're very good at it. Salespeople, they're the best. Even if it sounds fake, fake it until you make it, you know. So even if your company bestseller product is toilet paper, you should look like this. Tech is not necessarily sexy, but you can make yourself sexy providing tech for your company. So this is it. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. It seems you focused here on the enhancements, so like what do we want to do new. For me and for many people in this room, I'm sure, we have to deal very often with enhancements and break fixes. And logically, the break fixes, should appear first because something broke, we need to fix it. But then what we define as top priority for enhancement get delayed. Well, I don't know. I don't have a specific question, but how do you deal with this? And
I've had this.
Because not all break fixes needs to be solved immediately. Sometimes it can wait. So I just wanted to hear.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting question. We have bug fixing. We have projects. So we have our releases. We have our sprints and everything. So how do we manage between all the two aspects, let's say run versus project? I've seen many situations over the years, and one thing that I noticed was that the teams, and I say teams, were working pretty efficiently when things were apart. If you have a dedicated run team, then the project team can focus on what was supposed to happen and not get delayed. I was talking at the beginning of getting your team distracted. So this is something as a manager that you should avoid. And bug fixing is, of course, something that you have to take. You have to fix bugs. So if you can just set it away, the day-to-day run, set it away apart from the project, if you can. If you can't, just try to identify which bug is really affecting production. If not,
Can we prioritize the bugs as well?
again, yeah, prioritize. And of course, if you don't want your backlog with items dating from months or years, you should use it on a daily basis. It should be your go-to point of information managing your project. Other questions? No? Thank you.